Alright, this is the next day. I've had problems with uploading these videos, so after many hours, this is part 2. Right, I've been faffing around with a few things, and I've made I'll call it a jig, or a lifting beam, or a support rail, or a bit of wood underneath the centre balancing point of the subframe, because now that's literally sat there. I'll have to drop it off underneath the car and then put the jack back under it because it's a little bit taller that corner. However, that means it'll lift straight up on the jack and not be as awkward, because it is pretty heavy when you're trying to manhandle it on your chest. And now I put the bottom wishbones on as well, it's even heavier still. So I figure that there's got to be an easier way, and that was it. I did see a guy use a piece of plywood and a peg in the middle of a jack, but I've just got loads of bits of wood and a saw. But that'll lift it up into position. I'm thinking we're about ready for it to go in, so I've got the bolts ready. Exhaust will have to move across a little bit, but beyond that, I think we're about ready to lift it in. Once that's in, steering rack on, bottom wishbones on, anti-roll bar links on, there, and might be about it. I might put gearbox oil in first before I put this on, because there's a lot less space. Yeah, I'll do that first. I won't bother filming that because that's just going to be a long time of watching a funnel do nothing. And I'm already conscious that there's a lot goes on in these videos that takes a lot of time. So I'll get the gearbox oil in, then I'll get subframe on. Well, that's the oil in. Just left that to just drain the last little bits into it. Pipe goes down and into there. So it's right on the limit, so when I tip the engine back it'll come out, so I'll have to jack it up underneath to level it, because you can just see it's just starting to creep out of the bottom hole. It's just starting to get damp around the bottom, which is fine because that means it's full. Get that out, then we'll have the subframe to contend with. Subframe's under the car. Not quite as easy as I thought it would have been, however, it's roughly in the right place. So I'm going to jack it up, see what happens. Hopefully it'll stay balanced, mostly. I don't think it's quite in the middle. Of course, the bottom pole joints are getting in the way of the wood. Although that's trying to go in its right place, that's handy. Not quite yet. Watch the ball joints. I don't cut the boots because that would be really bad right now. Alright, it's catching somewhere because that's solid. raining. It's been forecast all day, but we've got big blobs coming down now, and I've just been getting drowned under there. Probably can't see it, but you get the gist. Subframe's on. I managed to get that rubber boot on. Actually quite a lot easier than I thought. It took about 30 seconds, whereas the other one took about 2 minutes. The bottom ball joints are in under there. Just managed to get them in the rain. Managed to get the bottom arms in. Get the jack out now. I don't need that. Yeah. Sorry for your ears. And basically, steering rack on, exhaust on, bottom engine mount. Can't think of much else actually. Steering rack bolt to the subframe, yeah, and get the wheels on. So that tyre place is only open until about 1 o'clock, so I had to go down first thing this morning to get my tyres fitted. And most of my work and filming happens in the afternoon. The last couple of weeks I've missed the tyre place and ended up with all these parts of my car in the garage in the way, and the 2 wheels, 2 tyres, they take up quite a lot of space. Still trying to find 2 for the back to match it so they're all 4 the same. Struggling. I managed to find 1. You can obviously still buy them new, but they're quite expensive. And although I want it to be right, I need to recoup some money, not just keep spending it. Hopefully this rain will pass and I can get the rest of it put back together. It's only really steering rack and exhaust. A couple of the bits of pipe work and things to secure, and then that's pretty much it. I mean, I could run it as it is. Got to top the coolant up. I've got some top quality premium red antifreeze. Sort of things that you have in your shed and keep forever. But it's never been used, just diluted it with half and half. So 50-50 mix on it. It didn't lose that much to be honest, thermostat's right at the top of the head, so most of it will still be full. Run it round a bit to mix it up. Other than that, I think today, weather permitting, it should be back on its wheels. And then I've got to start on the back end. Got that panel to order. As I mentioned in the previous video, he's away on holiday at the minute, but I think by now he may be back. So I can get that ordered, get that cut out and repaired. And then really it's just check over the back end, back brakes, back tyres, get windscreen fitted because it cracked. No sign of any stone chip, I think it's just age. Maybe it may well be the original screen, I don't know. I'll have a look, but once I get the weight on that bottom arm, as I said earlier, I can swap that top cover over, because if you squash it, you won't need spring compressors because you're already squashing the spring with the weight of the car. So get the gun on there, clean that up a bit first, take the nut off, flip that over, because it's put it back on the wrong way up. But at least it's not missing, it's not more parts I need to buy. Because everywhere I go on it, it's like more parts. But, fingers crossed. There you go, fingers crossed. We're actually getting somewhere now. And can make some progress just getting it cleaned up then, because at the moment it's looking quite sorry for itself. You've got all the combines chucking muck all over it and all the dust from fields, plus spider webs, God knows how many spiders live in it. And just general muck from being stood. But we'll see. Right, sun's out now. Stopped raining. I've just done a couple of little bits underneath whilst I was off camera, because you wouldn't be able to see anything. Just putting the exhaust back on and the bottom ball joint clamp bolts, things like that. There's nothing really you could have seen, so I thought, well, rather than extend it for nothing. So realistically now, I've topped up the coolant, everything's back together, gearbox oil's in, exhaust's on, so it should start. I'm no doubt in that. It's just whether it leaks or not. I really hope it doesn't. I can't see any reason why it would do now, because last time we reused the old one, the pipe was bent, and I've rectified all those issues. So now I'm going to go and start it and see what happens. So, gears are connected, the clutch still feels alright. Steering. Yeah, there's something up with steering. I need to sort that. I'll see how it is in a minute. ABS fault is expected. Yeah, the steering has got a... I don't think it's quite seated correctly at the bottom. It's notchy. There you go, it's like tight there. Yeah, I wasn't sure it had actually seated properly because when I put the rack in it was a bit awkward. So I'll have to check that, but clutch, nice and light. See there's no speedo, so that's the ABS sensors must do the speedo reading, because that's just gone through all the gears and there was no. That's fifth gear, just over 2000. No speedo, so that must be read from the ABS sensors, like a lot of modern stuff. But I'll just leave it running for a bit, let it warm up and see whether we get any pink stuff on the floor. And if we get pink stuff on the floor, down there, yeah, pink stuff on the floor, not good. Yeah, that's dropped down a little bit. I'll just top that up. I'll have to put you down, I've only got one hand. Yeah, right, look at the steering rack underneath, if you can focus on it. There's a bit of metal there that's got bent slightly. So I need to hammer that back down so that it's not catching. It must have just been that pinch bolt that's caught it. It's been in the wrong place when I've turned it. But I can knock that down and get that bit and get the rubber seal back through and we'll be fine. A little bit awkward access, but we'll see. It'll be fine. Clean the discs up. Oh, I need to move that tyre up. Snip that off in a minute. All back together. The only thing I need to do now is wait. Topped up the coolant, spilled a bit, so I had to rinse it away. That'll dry. Holding the suspension up, the steering rack even. So basically now what I need to do is let it run and then wait until it's cool and see if there's a puddle on the floor, because it used to leak down this back corner. You can see a bit of purple on that bolt there, but so far it's dry. Yeah, that's alright. Got the aircon water dripping around as well. But once it's all dry and there's no sign of any leak down there. There's the offending part. So anything that's not leaking around there, we're good. The fan's just cut back to its normal speed. See me. Aircon pipe getting condensation on it, so it's working fine. It's blowing icy cold inside. Previous video you saw me repair the fan, or the aftermath of repairing the fan, just because of the wind. So really, it's actually alright. Just have wait now, because it only ever leaked, or it appeared to only ever leak when it was parked. So once I leave it, once it's been hot, and then let it sit there for a while, that's when it'll leak out the bottom. And that's when we used to get the dripping coolant at the back when we parked it up. So if in the morning there's no coolant underneath, we've got success. I'll change that over. Literally just jacked it up, undid the nut, put the nut back on with that on top, so that's sorted now. Assuming that's right, that side might be right. Eeny, meeny, miny, I think that's right, because this side had been apart for the new spring, so I'm guessing he put it together wrong. That side I don't think has been apart. So, I'll get away from the engine for the racket. It's been quite a good productive day today. Couple of showers. It's still a bit patchy, there is a bit of sun over that side of things, but managed to dodge a couple of showers, there were a few, and nipped inside the garage. But now it's just wheel arch liners, check it over, wheels on. I need to get brake pads, I completely forgot this week. So it's going to be a case of set this video up now. Tomorrow we'll be on the ramps for the back end, and I can start having a look at the bit of welding, wash out all the mud from behind the arches. So realistically, it's nearly done. It's not far off finish now. Just needs a damn good clean up after being sat for a few months. Good clean up, good polish, get some new tyres on the back, and we'll be sorted. So hopefully it'll be an MOT job in, I would guess, September now. Come October, I've had it a year, and out of that I've not used it very much, which is quite sad. It will be coming up for sale. You know what it's had done, you know what state it's in. I'm going to get that bit of welding done properly, and I might even treat it to go into the paint shop to get the bottom edge matched in properly. I can paint, however, rattle cans, I think this car deserves a bit more than that, because that's the only bit on it really. There's a couple of minor stone chips I'm going to touch up on the bonnet edge, but beyond that, it's a car that should have saved the British car industry but didn't. Thanks BMW. No, oh well, never mind. There was more to it than that. Right, I'll see you in another video. I'll get this one put on tonight, and then hopefully it won't be sat there at midnight trying to process and upload and everything, nothing 3 times to try and upload it. But that's just IT, technology and computers for you. I'm better with spanners than I am computers. Cheers, see you later.